Welcome to the Royal News Today channel. In this video, we give you the news: Harry is an utter disgrace. He doesn't deserve or need Met Police bodyguards. Harry has won a bid to bring a High Court challenge against the Home Office over his UK security arrangements. This is a misleading article. He won nothing. Meghan Markle has turned Prince Harry into a royal joke. That UN speech has made him look like a fool, as she sat back and grinned. The UK needs to stop her from entering. She did and continues to go after your system and your royal family. Call your representatives and demand she not be allowed in the country, no visa. The Duke of Sussex is taking legal action over a decision not to allow him to pay for police protection for himself and his family when visiting from North America after he quit the firm in 2020. In the first stage of the case earlier this month, the Duke's lawyers asked Mr. Justice Swift to grant permission for a full hearing to have a judge review the Home Office's decision. In a judgment on Friday, the High Court judge said the case could proceed, granting permission for part of Harry's claim to have a judicial review. Mr. Justice Swift said, the application for permission to apply for judicial review is allowed in part and refused in part. The judge ruled that it can be argued Prince Harry should have had the opportunity to make representations to Revec, which was a point on one of the Duke's grounds. Mr. Justice Swift said the Duke had brought the claim for judicial review on 5 grounds, 4 of which were arguable and were granted permission, with some parts of the grounds removed. Harry has argued that he cannot ensure the protection of Meghan and their 2 children Archie Harrison and Lilibet Diana without the Met Police because of their access to UK intelligence. But the Sussexes returned to the UK last month to mark the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Harry's beloved grandmother, the Queen. Why waste the money on a review? He has gone against his own argument, so just bill him for court time. Harry was granted permission on the arguments including that Revec's decisions were legally unreasonable, and that the Duke should have been told about Revec's policy before its decision in February 2020. Discussing one part of Harry's claim, Mr. Justice Swift said it was arguable whether the Duke should have had the opportunity to make representations direct to Revec, including the opportunity to comment on other matters Revec considered. However, the judge denied permission for other parts of Harry's claim, including that he should have been told who the members of Revec were and that he did not have the chance to discuss the appropriateness of some people being involved in the committee. Mr. Justice Swift said, in the course of submissions, it became apparent that while the claimant may have had disagreements with persons who were Revec committee members, there was no evidence at all to support a claim that any committee member had approached decisions with a closed mind. Ultimately, it was accepted for the claimant that no such case was, or could be, advanced. I thought Harry had stepped back from being a senior royal. So why is he entitled to any perks? Does he really believe he and his tardy wife are more at risk in the UK than the US? That is laughable. He is an utter disgrace. He doesn't deserve or need Met Police bodyguards as he is not working royal, and it sets a dangerous precedent if they allow a private citizen to hire the Metropolitan Police whenever he deigns to set foot in this country. He should no longer be a counsellor for the Queen and definitely, no longer be in the line of succession. Nor his children. It's a damn joke that the Queen has not erected Parliament, and ensuring this is done at the earliest. Leave no stone unturned in clearing up this damn mess of Harry and Meghan's making. The Duke's lawyers had also argued that Revec's policy was applied in an overly rigid and inflexible manner, but the judge said this part of the claim could also not go ahead. Mr. Justice Swift added, as all who are familiar with judicial review claims will know, a conclusion at the permission stage that a case is arguable is some distance from a conclusion that the case will succeed at the final hearing. The judge added that the Home Office is yet to have the chance to address and evidence the process by which Rivek took its decision, and this should be considered at a final hearing. Surely the palace is entitled to have input. They organize royal duties and so know the requirements. This is ridiculous. It is as though the British courts are frightened of saying no to this pair. The Duke's challenge concerns the February 2020 decision of the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures (REVEC) over his security, after being told he would no longer be given the same degree of personal protective security when visiting. Harry lost the right to publicly funded protection when he stepped down as a senior royal and was told he could not privately pay armed police for the same levels of protection as the rest of the royal family during his visits to the UK. Harry's legal team is seeking to argue that the security arrangements set out in a letter from Rivek, and their application when he visited the UK in June 2021, were invalid due to procedural unfairness because he was not given an opportunity to make informed representations beforehand. Shade Fatima QC, for the Duke, told the court earlier this month, he didn't know at that stage that the royal household was involved at all, he was told it was an independent decision. His lawyers revealed significant tensions between him and the Queen's private secretary Sir Edward Young during a hearing. Ms. Fatima told the High Court in London that it was not appropriate for Young or any other member of the royal household to be involved in decisions about the Duke's security status in the UK. However, lawyers for the Home Office say Rivek was entitled to reach the decision it did, which is that Harry's security arrangements will be considered on a case-by-case basis, and argued that permission for a full judicial review should be refused. Sir James Eddy QC, representing the Home Office, said in written arguments that any tensions between Harry and royal household officials are irrelevant to his change in status. Meghan and Harry lost their taxpayer-funded police protection in the aftermath of their bombshell decision to quit royal duties to forge new careers and financially independent life in California in 2020. Since then, the couple has relied upon a private security team in the U.S., but the couple's legal representatives argue this team does not have adequate jurisdiction abroad or access to UK intelligence information that is needed to keep the Sussex family safe. Harry has argued that he cannot ensure the protection of Meghan and their two children Archie Harrison and Lilibet Diana without the Met Police because of their access to UK intelligence. But the Sussexes returned to the UK last month to mark the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Harry's beloved grandmother, the Queen. I've got it. If Harry wins, and he probably won't, we should all get together with a class action suit against Harry and Megxi for the lies they told about the UK in the Fluff Show. I think it's called slander, and then we could follow it with a libel case against his memoirs. It's bound to be full of fluff like the Chat Show. If Princess Anne only gets police protection when working for the RF, why should he be treated differently? He is no longer a working royal, lives in America, and I am sure his security team can talk to the British police about threats. Our police are trained and paid for by British taxpayers and are not for hire. Good, because us hard-working Brits can afford a court case for some dumbwit who's as full of self-importance. Welcome to being a private citizen. You don't get priority over the rest of us. Remember, you are just Harry now, you chose this. This doesn't mean he will win. If he does, then everyone will be free to apply. He needs to have all titles and remaining privileges removed. He can then be the private citizen he yearns to be. He will spend his whole life trying to cause trouble. They are the saddest couple in the whole world.